Hi, my name is Rabbi Schwartz, and welcome to another edition of Torah Tidbits. This week is Parshat Toldot. What we're going to do first is go through a brief overview of the Parsha, and then go into one specific point in order to elucidate some depth. So, first thing that happens in the Parsha is Mazel Tov! It's twins. The birth of Yaakov and Esav, and they start out life very different from each other. Esav all covered with hair, and Yaakov a very slim little boy. And as they grow up, their differences only seem to increase. Esav decides that he's a man of the field. He's a hunter. He's a fieldsman, planting things. Yaakov decides he's going to take the path of a more educated man, sitting all day and learning. And lo and behold, eventually Esav comes back from the field one day, famished, and decides to sell his entire birthright and everything he has in the world they will get from his father for a bowl of lentils. Not joking here, folks. Okay, fast forwarding, there's another famine in the land, and Isaac decides to take the entire family over to Gerar, to the land of Avimelech. And once again, because the foremothers were known to be exceedingly beautiful, Rivka, Isaac's wife, gets taken. Eventually, they get her back. They decide they're going to stay for a few years. They amass quite a wealth. And then until they are finally asked to leave, because they've amassed just enough wealth for everybody. We move into Isaac's next stage of life, where he digs a lot of wells. Then Avimelech catches back up to him, apologizes for kicking him out of the land, and they make a covenant together, which basically means they make peace. Later on in the Parsha, Esav takes a girl who is a bad influence on him. Isaac gets old. It's about to accelerate very quickly here. Isaac gets old. He wants to make a blessing. He decides to ask Esav to go get food in order that he can make a blessing. Why he needs food to make a blessing, I'm not quite sure. Then he goes out to the field. Yaakov sneaks in along with his mom. His mom dresses him up in something so he kind of looks like Esav, but kind of doesn't, kind of smells weird. He walks in with the food already made that his mom made for him, and he tricks his father into giving him the blessing that was supposed to go to Esav. He runs out. Esav comes back in, gets it, just realizes that it wasn't the right person. Yaakov freaks out. Esav freaks out. Isaac freaks out. Everyone's freaking out. Esav cries, and then he decides he's going to put a death threat out on his brother, Yaakov. So Rivka decides to send Yaakov out to her brother, and eventually we go through all of the progeny of Esav. That's the Parsha in a brief. One point that I want to go through is something pointed out by the Kli Yakar. So at one point in the Parsha, at the very beginning, it said, Vayahav Yitzchak et Esav kitzayid befiv, v'Rivka ohevet et Yaakov. That Isaac loved Esav because he was his sayid befiv, which literally would be translated as because his food was in his mouth. I mean, the food that he got from the field. And Rivka loved Jacob. And the Kli Yakar points out, why did they love each of those children respectively? And obviously not that they didn't love the other, but they had a particular love for them. So he points out that love is grown by that which is around us. And by that which is around us, and because Yaakov was more near his mother, because he was in the home all the time, and because Esav was more around Isaac, because he was bringing him food, there developed a love. We, in the things that we surround ourselves with, that's what we end up loving. The things that we end up deciding that are going to be major parts of our lives, that we're going to interact with, that's what we end up loving. It's important to make sure that we don't end up like Esav, like at the end of the Parsha, who takes someone who associates himself with someone who's a bad influence for him. His parents knew it, and he knew it, he did so anyway. So I hope that we all can learn to love the things that are close to us and make sure that the things who are close to us are good for us. Shabbat Shalom, and have a very excellent week.